Oh, hello, children! Welcome to the library. You're just in time. I just finished reading my favorite book. What book am I reading? Well, sometimes we don't need to ask questions now, do we? You see, one of the reasons I love this book so much is because of its powerful uses of figurative language, which help develop the emotions of characters and the setting that they lay within. What's figurative language? Now there's a question worth asking. Figurative language is a form of storytelling used by authors and writers to help develop mental imagery and feelings that a reader may get from reading the story. And it can be a vital part of storytelling. Why is it so vital, you ask? Why are you asking so many questions, book boy? Now imagine you're writing a story, and the setting is the Western Front of World War I. Now you tell me which is a better, more accurate description of the setting. It's a pretty nasty place, with a bunch of people dying, explosions, and gunfire. Or it's an unending slaughterhouse of mud and lead, where every poor soul laying at the mercy of the trenches will have to face the worst instruments of death and destruction mankind has ever created. Now you may think that the first option is more accurate because it's more upfront and literal than the second, but actually it's the opposite. By describing things that a reader might be able to find more relatable while making something specific while leaving others vague, the reader will be able to rip things from their own memory and then paint a more accurate mental picture of the Western Front despite never being there. Along with that, they will have this feeling of instilled within them. Figurative language is often utilized in music, given that the shorter available room for words will force artists to become a little bit more creative. You'll actually find that nu metal is littered with figurative language. The song Crawling by Linkin Park contains lead singer Chazzy Chazalicious Cheddarino Bennington, aka Chester Bennington, singing about struggling with internal insecurities and turmoils, with lyrics in the chorus of the song going, "Crawling in my skin, these wounds they will not heal." This is some good use of figurative language because of course he's not actually crawling in his skin. If he were, then I think he'd have some bigger problems than his mental health at that moment.
Peel my skin off and sew it onto you when you wake up in the morning.
But that feeling of crawling in your own skin gives the listener a feeling of uncomfortability that accurately represents the mental state of the singer, despite them not having that same mental state. In the song Change in the House of Flies by Deftones, Chino Moreno sings about witnessing the destructive change of a loved one. The song is heavily metaphorical, with flies representing this loss of self that is being sung about. The reason why flies are used as a metaphor here is because people generally think of flies as unwarranted bothers that appear for no good reason. This negativity that everybody feels allows for a listener to understand what the singer is feeling despite them not being in this situation. The song The Devil and I by Slipknot gives lead vocalist Corey Taylor singing and screaming about facing one's inner turmoils and demons instead of letting them overtake you, coining the main chorus of the song, "Step inside, see the devil and I." Now of course he doesn't have literal Satan living inside of him. Unless he does? I mean, he does wear a bunch of freaking masks. Is this guy possessed? Can we get an exorcist on this man? Okay, no, he's not actually possessed. The devil thing is just a metaphor used by listeners to scale the severity of his mental health. By using something that most people know is pretty evil, and then comparing it to Corey's inner self, the listener can then get a better understanding of the lyrics and emotions of the song. Now, of course, there are other bands in the nu metal subgenre that use figurative language other than those three, and there are more subgenres in metal that use figurative language than just nu metal. And there are other genres of music that use figurative language instead of just metal. And there are other forms of media in the world that use figurative language other than just music. It's everywhere. And that's your job to look out for and utilize in your own writing. Add some figurative language of your own whenever you're writing a story, and make sure you look out for it whenever you're reading a book, script, or lyrics to your favorite song. Well, that's enough for today. Thanks for watching. I'm Jahan Marino Brianna Mana, and I'm illegally blind.